Hey Rock and Roll High School, I'm back with another review of a Steven Universe episode. This time it's We Have to Talk. And I'm here with my cohorts, Plush Tom Servo and Tiny Floating Whale.
Ooh!
Both made by my wife Lindsay, by the way. Alright, now this episode involves Greg seeing Connie and Steven fuse, and you know what? Something about this kind of setup just doesn't work for this episode. Follow me this way. Alright. Now, this is what happens in the episode. Greg learns that Steven and Connie can fuse, and he decides to kind of sit them down and have the talk. Well, not that talk. Talk about aliens and humans fusing together. I mean, that other parental talk that you have with your preteen kids. And essentially, it's another story for Steven, and I'm beginning to see, like, oh, good, I hope this becomes a pattern of episodes where we get to see, there's tons of history with these characters, so I hope we get to see more and more with this as the show progresses. We cut to a few months after Story for Steven, where Greg and Rose had sort of been building a budding relationship. He even is doing like songs with them. They even have this really cool like light up setup behind them. Of course, them hooking up is definitely causing a lot of jealousy on Pearl's behalf. So while they're performing, she decides to show Greg what Rose and her can do, and he can't, by fusing. And we get to see another fusion, by the way. The awesome rainbow quartz, which looks pretty impressive, actually. If you don't count Garnet, that actually might be my new favorite fusion. It looks pretty amazing. But by the way, funny little moment is, like, Greg doesn't seem to be too jealous by this. He's more impressed and blown away by it than jealous. And this, of course, causes Pearl to tell him up front, like, you can never have what we have when we fuse. You're only a human. And this kind of gets him thinking, like, maybe if we worked on it, maybe there would be a way we can be closer if we can fuse. So, through Garnet's encouragement, he decides to try and figure out, you know, how the two of them can fuse. So they have this wonderful little dance floor set up, and they dance, and he tries to fuse with her, and they don't, because the gems are gems and humans are humans. They don't fuse together. And Greg and Rose end up having this wonderful little conversation, which, outside of the fact that we have an alien superhero and a person talking, it feels like a real conversation between two people kind of slowly falling in love with each other. And she's kind of trying to understand. And I think she's loved people, but I don't think she's been in love with a person before. At least, maybe. I don't know. So she is kind of like trying to figure it out, and he's trying to figure things out with her. And they end up fusing in a more natural way. Well, at least the natural way you and I would normally think. On a emotional level, on a verbal level, like normal humans do. And this idea sort of, yeah, they don't physically fuse, but they do, yeah, they do kind of like bond a little bit more, which the gems are watching from like 3 feet away, apparently. I don't know who they're fooling. And of course, you know, we have the short conversation between the three of them that, you know, Garnet seems to be pretty satisfied with her advice, and Amethyst is really hopeful and, you know, kind of digs Greg as well. And Pearl is kind of realizing it might be over. And we cut to the end of the episode where we flash back to the present, and we had that little scene where Greg and Connie are actually kind of bonding because they do have kind of a shared experience. They both have a fondness and love for gem people, and they kind of bond over that, human on human. And we have that last shot of Steven like holding his gem and realizing that he is suddenly not within that group. It's interesting because that kind of turns that on its head, where Pearl was trying to make Greg feel like an outsider for being a human, and in turn, Greg and Connie actually kind of make Steven almost feel like an outsider for not being human. It's amazing how the show goes in 11 minutes too. I know I brought this up before, but it's amazing how much stuff gets pounded into 11-minute stories. I really love this episode. Let's see. It was nice seeing Stefani again. It was great seeing a new fusion. I love the song that Greg and Rose have. It's good seeing. I love seeing all these sorts of different views on these characters that we've kind of like grown and known and loved. Now we get to see different sides to them, different aspects of them, from different points in their life. Greg and Pearl and such. I have to say, I really found a lot of these characters pretty relatable. I've been in the same positions that both Greg and Pearl have been in life. I of course fallen in love with people, and there's nothing more exciting and fun and scary is falling in love with someone in that relationship building. And I've also been in the same shoes as Pearl. I've been in positions where I slowly notice someone I love kind of drifting away from me, and nothing I say or do is right. And it sucks. It's really bad. There's no winning that kind of position. They don't write books on how to deal with that. They don't make movies for those people. Once you start losing someone, there's no unlosing. That's kind of done. So it's almost bittersweet, and this episode is like bittersweet in some ways. I mean, it's wonderful watching them fall in love, and it's a little sad watching someone lose someone they love, and at the same, and it goes on to a different level. Like we see people being kind of feel like outsiders for being humans and outsiders for being gems, and I wonder if we're going to see more of this character development with Steven as he grows. Are we going to see him kind of deal with the fact that he is this human gem hybrid? And I hope to continue to see the development on Pearl's character, as I think they're putting together this story arc for this character arc for her, where she has been with someone, put so much energy and thought and love and emphasis on who this person is and what she means to her and what it means to be with that person, and then lose and try and figure out who she is. I think that's where they're going with the character. Oh God, what a great episode. I could actually keep talking about this 11-minute cartoon all day. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. If you're looking for commissions for plush dolls like servos and floating whales or whatever you like, I'll put a link down to my wife's Etsy page, and you can tell her yourself. I think that's it for now, so push the button, Lindsay.